All right, today we're diving into a temple in Bhubaneswar, India that is so much more than just a thousand-year-old architectural marvel. I mean, it is that for sure, but it's also a place where two of Hinduism's greatest gods, Shiva and Vishnu, actually come together in a single powerful form. So let's uncover the incredible story of the Lingaraja Temple. And look, right off the bat, its importance is just sealed with this quote from the famous historian James Ferguson. I mean, when a figure of his stature calls it one of the finest examples of a purely Hindu temple in India, well, you just know we're looking at something truly, truly special. And here's a number just to put that grandeur into perspective for you. 180 feet. That's how high the central tower, the Vimana, soars into the sky. Can you imagine? It's a structure that was literally designed to make you feel small, to make you look up in absolute awe. Okay, so what is it that makes this temple such an architectural marvel? Let's really break down its key features, because this is how we're going to understand why it's considered, a crowning achievement of ancient Indian architecture. Okay, this is where you start to get the true scale of the place. It's not just one building. We're talking about a massive walled complex that's over 500 feet long. It's basically a city within a city, all built from sandstone and laterite. And get this, the main temple is surrounded by over 100 smaller shrines. It's the largest complex in a city that's already famous for its temples. Just incredible. But any structure this old and this grand is bound to have some mysteries, right? And the biggest one, well, it's about its very origins. So let's peel back the layers of history a bit and try to solve the puzzle of who actually built this thing. So this timeline really shows us that the temple wasn't built all at once, not even close. While some traditions point to an original structure way back in the 7th century, the main temple we see today, that was really started in the 11th century. And even then, major parts like the Hall of Offerings were still being added a whole century later. This wasn't just a building project, it was a multi-generational epic. And that brings us right to the heart of the mystery, doesn't it? With all these different eras and different rulers involved, who really gets the credit for this masterpiece? Well, there are basically two main camps here. On one side, you have these really strong literary traditions that point to his 7th century king, Shashanka, as the guy who started it all. But on the other side, the architectural style, the historical records, they all overwhelmingly point to the Somavamsi king Jasate Kashari starting the temple we know today back in the 11th century. So what's the truth? The most important thing to remember is that it was probably an evolution, not just a single event. Okay, so with that history in mind, let's look at the actual blueprint of this masterpiece. We're going to explore its unique style and the really deliberate layout that transforms a simple visit into this carefully planned spiritual journey. So the temple is the absolute epitome of what's known as Kalinga architecture. Now, what's that? It's a very distinct regional style that flourished in ancient Kalinga, which is modern-day Odisha. It's famous for these incredible towering curved spires and just mind-blowingly detailed decorations all over the surface. In Lingaraja, it's considered the most mature, the most complete expression of this entire style. It's the peak. And the layout itself is just genius. It's designed to be a spiritual journey. Imagine you're walking through it. You progress through 4 distinct halls, all on one single axis. You start in the Bhogamandapa, the Hall of Offerings. Then you move through the Nadamandira, which is a hall for sacred music and dance. From there, it's into the Jagamohana, the main assembly hall. See how each step takes you deeper? It's all building this anticipation until you finally arrive at the Vimana, that soaring tower that holds the sacred inner sanctum. But, beyond all the incredible architecture, this temple holds a really profound spiritual secret. It's a place where two of the most important traditions in Hinduism don't just coexist, they actually meet in this beautiful, harmonious fusion. Okay, so at the heart of this are two of Hinduism's major traditions. You have Shaivism, which reveres Lord Shiva, the god of transformation, of dissolution, and then you have Vaishnavism, which reveres Lord Vishnu, the god of preservation and order. Now, usually their followers worship in totally separate temples, but here at Lingaraja, these two incredibly powerful forces merge into one. And this fusion is embodied in a deity called Harihara. It's simple, really. Hari is a name for Vishnu, and Hara is a name for Shiva. So the deity itself represents this ultimate idea that these different divine aspects are actually just two sides of the same coin. They're both expressions of one single supreme being. And the proof of this fusion? It's literally carved into the stone of the temple. I mean, the main deity is called Harihara, right? And if you look all the way to the top of that massive tower, the very pinnacle, it's not just Shiva's trident or Vishnu's discus. It's a hybrid, a combination of both. Even the festivals, as we're about to see, blend traditions from both sides. It creates this totally unique spiritual identity. But maybe the most remarkable thing of all is that this isn't just some ancient relic collecting dust. It's not a museum. Unlike so many other historical sites, the Lingaraja Temple has never, ever stopped being a vibrant, active center of faith. It connects 1,000 years of history directly to today. And that's really what sets it apart. Look, Bhubaneswar has hundreds of ancient temples, but a lot of them are basically just archaeological sites now. Lingaraja, though, it has never stopped being a place of active, daily worship. The rituals you can see there today, they've been performed for centuries. And the scale of that living faith is just, it's staggering. During the main festival, Mahashivaratri, you can have as many as 200,000 devotees gathered right here. 200,000. That is just a powerful, powerful demonstration of how important this place still is in the spiritual lives of millions. And all year round, the temple complex just comes alive with these incredible celebrations. You have the solemn night-long visual of Mahashivratri, then there's the 22-day Chandan Yatra festival, and of course the spectacular chariot festival, Ashokashtami. It's these events that make sure the temple is still the cultural and spiritual heart of the entire city. So that leaves us with this incredible question, right? How does a monument that's 1,000 years old manage to remain the spiritual heart of a modern city? I think it's through its sheer architectural grandeur, its deep, complicated history, and that unique spiritual harmony we talked about. It's managed to stay a living, breathing center for a whole millennium. It just proves that the most powerful monuments aren't just built from stone. They're built from an enduring, evolving belief.